This building sat vacant for 15 years. That is until recently it was acquired by Mount Washington Community Development Corporation to turn it into a food bank. We're here with Executive Director Michael Carlin of that organization to talk to us about what the plans are to open this up.
The goal is here to open this food bank, at least a Spartan food bank, at least get some basic stuff going on here by the 4th of July. So far we've raised $40,000 towards that goal. Our ultimate goal is somewhere between $250 and $300. A basic food bank will probably run us probably another $50,000 or $60,000. We've got to get them in here and get them up and running. As far as the rest of it, the apartment goes, well, we're going to continue to raise money, and the apartment will pay all the bills for the food bank. So the food bank will only have to worry about one thing: food. We currently serve about 65 families with another addition in Mount Washington, with an additional 65 in the Allentown area. And hopefully, once we get up and running here, we'll be able to expand a little bit into some other neighborhoods that need to be served, like parts of Belts Hoover, Knoxville, Allentown, and maybe even up into Carrick.
Now, this is the first land bank sale, right? Of the entire thing, right?
This was the first official sale of the land bank, yes.
This building was vacant for 15 years. How did you guys come across it to find this for, walk me through that process?
Well, it was once the food bank had to leave their current home, we just started looking around the neighborhood for what we thought would be an adequate home. Now, it had to cover a couple of different things. Number one, it had to be sort of on a main street here, okay? We didn't want it tucked back in neighborhoods because we get deliveries from large trucks, and loading and unloading would be inconvenient for the neighbors. Easily accessible, okay? Once it says right here on a bus line, a main road, anybody can drive up. You don't have to worry about being tucked into a food back in some neighborhood. Another thing is you have to be able to walk straight in. We wanted to make it very easy for handicapped people to just basically stroll or roll right in. Some, didn't fit the bill. They were back in a neighborhood, or some were too expensive. This was the one that pretty much addressed all the needs except for one. Everybody complains there's going to be no parking. But that's really not that important. The food bank only distributes one day a month. And people will pull up and, they will come in, or maybe they'll park down there or park down the street. This is not going to be like a real supermarket, although we're trying to give people a market type experience. Right now, when you go to the food bank, because of its current location and its current very small location, all we do is fill a box full of an assortment of food, and you get handed in a box depending on the size of your family. Well, what we're trying to do here is put together a market so that maybe you need more potatoes this month, or more tuna, or more this, or more that. You can come in and choose what you need. The concept will be that somebody will be able to walk in here with a little bit of dignity and pick out what they need for their family. Ultimately, we would like to get maybe to 2 distributions a month.
Okay, so it's one right now.
One right now, and two during the holidays.
And where's your current location?
St. Mary's on the Mount.
St. Mary's on the Mount. Okay. How many people do you anticipate, with this new project here? How many? What kind of numbers are we talking for?
We anticipate serving 120 families.
120 families?
No, 120 households, I should say.
Okay.
Some household is just one person.
Sure.
Some household is 6 people. So it's 120 households we serve right now.
Okay.
That's in Mount Washington and Allentown.
How long you been doing this for, Michael?
I've been executive director since May of 2023, but I've been a volunteer in the community since 2016.
I was gonna say, last time I saw you, everywhere you go, you're picking up cans. You're just a very charitable guy, from what I get off of the first bit of it.
Don't tell anybody that.
I'll keep it a secret, I promise. Besides this, what inspires you to do it? Are you retired? Are you, what makes you want to give back so much?
Well, I was retired, and like anybody who is retired, once you retire, you take care of a few things around the house or whatever, and then you find yourself with a certain amount of time on your hands. Okay, so I just started doing basic things like picking up garbage and helping people in the neighborhood do this, that, whatever came up, the food bank or graffiti removal or picking up garbage or planting a tree or whatever. And after a while, the previous executive director quit, moved on, whatever, and the board was looking for a new executive director. I really didn't want a full-time job, but they offered it to me part-time, So it gives me a certain amount of flexibility. And they gave me certain goals they want to achieve. And now I'm kind of getting paid for what I was doing for nothing before.
What do you say we take a look inside?
Okay.
All right. All right. Wow. So this is now. Understand you guys gutted this recently?
We just gutted it recently. We just finished about a week ago. We had professionals come in here and do the job. We were thinking of doing it on a volunteer basis, but my insurance man thought that wasn't such a very good idea. So we got professionals in here, and they did a bang-up job, and they did it at a discounted rate. We're getting a lot of professionals, tradesmen, who are offering to help us out here at either a free or a discounted rate. So these guys came in here and really did a bang-up job. They stripped it down pretty much to the bones. I got to ask you guys to be careful as we walk around in here because there's.
Of course, yeah, I can tell. There's some
holes
around here. Want to be careful back here. This is where you really want to be careful here.
We don't want anybody falling down and going boom.
All right.
The idea is, the concept is anyway, that this will be kind of the store, okay? Where you walk in and you choose based on availability what you need for your family.
Now we're safe to go down these steps, right?
Watch this.
This is indeed a land bank cell. Get a shot of that here. This is literally every Pittsburgh basement in existence. I love it. Could not be more classic. So the basement's not in terrible shape here.
There's not much evidence of much water ever getting into the basement. You see a little bit around the edges here.
Sure.
But compared to a lot of Pittsburgh basements, this isn't much at all.
Oh, now you got a second portion back here, right?
Well,
So you got, what, the chimney starts here?
yeah,
This is where the chimney actually
the
starts.
old coal chimney, and actually an old coal cellar, although we have no light in it.
Wow. What did you guys get this for from the land bank? What'd they charge you?
$30,000. It was available, and it was available at the right price. So we
First sale right here.
first sale right here.
Now, the basement you said is going to serve as
A storage. Mostly
Okay.
Storage.
so
And,
excess food that you can't keep upstairs and things like that?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, eventually we'd like to get an elevator in here that would lift the food from down below to up above. But when I was talking about the food bank being a Spartan food bank versus, let's say, the Dream Food Bank, okay, we want to get it open, get it in here,
Right.
get it serving the population. As things improve, maybe we get an elevator, maybe we get a walk-in cooler, maybe some of the other things that we like, okay? But the goal is, number one, get the food bank up, running, and serving the people that it needs to be served. Number two, get the apartment finished, and we're going to go up there in a minute, so that it can pay the bills for the food bank.
Right.
And number three, maybe spruce things up a little bit and get some more things like we like an elevator to make it easier to bring food up and down. Because most of the volunteers at the food bank are senior citizens, so running them up and down these steps is going to be a bit of a drag to start. There's all kind of stuff we'd like to do, but like anybody else, you take care of what you need to do first,
Right.
and then what you like to do later. But let's go upstairs and check out the apartment.
I like this.
Well, that's for us.
So this is going to pay the bills.
Everybody wants a little bit cheaper housing these days, and we're going to try to help them out a little bit. As you can see, this place is going to be quite spacious.
Sure.
The living room, this used to be the dining room, kitchen in here, bathroom back here.
This is a big apartment.
It's a big apartment. And even more room upstairs.
Right. So you said July is when you want this up and running. Realistically, for every single piece of
For
this
every
project,
single
how
piece, it's probably going to take another year from now.
another year?
It all depends, if we get the grant money in we're requesting, things could go much quicker. The apartment's important because the apartment's ultimately going to pay the bills. But like I said, if we can get the food bank in by July and the apartment was only half done, that's fine for now.
Right.
Okay. The idea is to get the food bank and get it serving the community. Right now, where it's at, it's probably not serving as many people as it can because of its location, and it's just inconvenient where it's at right now.
There is just way more space here than I would think from outside. There really is.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the outside now.
Sure. This is like a house flipper's dream.
Cavernous, yes.
All right, let's take a look at the outside.
Eventually, as you can see by the picture, we're going to try to close this in here. The important thing is to get the food bank up and running.
Right.
Okay, but there's a lot of other stuff we could do. Right. In addition, the upstairs apartment once had a back deck on it, as you can see, but it was so rotten they just tore it down whenever they did the gutting of the place. A few tables, chairs, small meetings for the community, whatever. Kind of a cherry on top if we get, if we raise that much money. And like we were just in here a couple weeks ago, this wall, it had been neglected for so long. Trees had actually started to grow behind this wall and pushed it out. So we cut the trees and cleaned it up. And
the trees actually pushed
the wall out. Yes, the wall's all been hauled away. And
that's a lot of growth over a long time.
Well, like I said, you don't pay attention to anything for a few years. That's kind of what happens. Well, this is most of my time. This is probably 15 to 20 hours a week, and then 10 to 5 hours, 5 to 10 hours is everything else the Community Development Corporation is supposed to do.
Sure.
But I have a partner. I mean, the job was of executive director. They wanted to hire me full time, but I don't need or want a full-time job. Right. I like the flexibility. I travel. I have grandchildren, whatever, and. So I said, give me part-time. So we kind of split the job between me and another person.
I want you to be able to promote it and tell people how they can, donate. All right, you're at $40,000 right now.
We've raised $40,000 in the neighborhood, and we've applied for various grants from various organizations, the Birmingham Foundation, PNC, Giant Eagle. Nothing's come through yet, but we don't expect anything yet. We're hoping to get something in January, February, March of 2023. If we get a nice shot in the arm, of course, we will continue the construction as the money's available. If anybody wants to donate or anybody wants to stop by and take a look, just give me a call. I can be reached at the Mount Washington Community Development Corporation. Or you can scan our QR code right here.
Get a shot of that right there, Nick. If you could get a shot of that QR code. I believe you probably could scan that right off of a video itself, actually.
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah. All right, and so this is the Washington Heights Ecumenical Food Bank. All right, so we're looking towards July. We should see this open. You can donate, and this is going to be a lot more. This is like, as we just saw, you want to get this open and running because the number one thing is to serve the community and get that, get the food pantry going. But this is going to be a much larger project. I mean, you guys really have your work cut out for you here.
Right. There's no doubt about it. And like I said, there's several phases. There's what we want and what we need. Okay, like anything else in life, you want to take care of your food, your clothing, your transportation, the house, roof over your head. Once you get that done, then you can spruce things up a little bit, okay? Maybe look at some other things. We'd like a walk-in cooler. We'd like an elevator to be able to move the food from downstairs to upstairs easily. Maybe we put a little courtyard in the back. Those are all things that would depend on how the money comes in. The most important thing is to get the food bank in and start servicing the community.
Michael Carlin, if anybody who does want to donate, I'm going to have in the video here, in the description, I'm going to have the link where you can donate, where you can have his QR code, where you can contact Michael and put any money forward that you would like to. So, Michael Carlin, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.
All right, thanks, guys.